Hey
welcome
y'all,
back to Living Black Podcast with your host today, Ari Ann.
Nayla.
And today's topic, we're going to be talking about Black parents versus teen daughters.
Or teens in general, for that matter.
Yes. So today's topic, we'll just be covering the average Black parents versus their teen kids, and yeah, just common things that take place that have been within the mainstream or that we're aware of in our own families.
Mm-hmm.
So first up, I think today's question of the day can be: has there ever been a moment where you felt inferior or you felt like your parents weren't listening to you um, when you were younger?
For me personally, yes, there's been many experiences like that where I feel like I'm not being heard. But for the most part, my parents try to listen to me, Sometimes they'll take what I say like in an offensive way or like I'm being disrespectful, but for the most part, they listen to me and they're pretty they're aware of what I'm saying and understand what I'm saying for the most part.
Okay, I can agree with that. For me, most of the time, not most of the time, in response to the question. For me, it would be sometimes because because I said so type of thing. It can really get you in your feelings and have you feeling some type of way because like to most of us that's not an accurate response, and most people within the real world they don't tell you that like because I said so is as an answer. So
yeah,
that's one thing. But yeah, that's our answer to the question of the day. You guys can respond to that question of the day in our Instagram post that will be posted as soon as this episode is out, or you can comment below our YouTube post if you're watching us from YouTube.
Yep.
So let's head straight into our topic for today. So the first thing up within today's topic of Black parents versus teen kids would be the situation of where your parent tells you to change your clothes because your uncle or their quote unquote man friend is coming over to do such and such. Now, that's a common thing that I've actually seen on Instagram that has been talked about by the Melanin Shade Room. And that's one thing I really wanted to talk about because it's something that we normalize that really should not be normalized.
Yeah. Have you had? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you had any like experiences with that before?
With me personally, yes. Where it wasn't like anything big time, but I have most of the time been told to do that because someone I either didn't know or someone that, just identified as a male was coming within the house. So I had to change clothes. And nowadays, I don't really do it because, first off, body positivity. And secondly, it's not like anything is really, things are bound to happen sometimes because you never know. But at the end of the day, it's nothing that I can control. The way that you sexualize somebody's body is not my problem.
Right.
That is something you need to go to therapy for.
Right. And also the fact that like we shouldn't have to filter out what we're wearing just so these things don't happen because that's not right. It's like clothes are made for us to wear, and so the fact that we can't wear them in certain situations is kind of like irritating in a way because it's like this shouldn't have to happen at all.
Yup. And it's giving like, those posts about where people will talk about like rape is a men's issue and it's caused by clothing and stuff like that. That's what it's really giving there.
Yeah, I agree. Because it really has nothing to do with the clothes or the woman. It's most of the time the men's issue in that case.
Agreed. And most of the time this takes place like after the certain age of like 10 or something like that. Most of the time, younger little girls, they don't really have to worry about it too much because,
Mhm.
they're young and they're like innocent and things like that.
Yeah.
But once you get to that older age, it starts to hit. And it's just the factor that things like that shouldn't really be happening and it should not be normalized.
Mhm. For me personally, it's never happened to me, but I have seen it in certain situations. And yeah, it's just kind of sad to see.
hmm And if they're going to be sexualizing um, a minor's body, then that's a situation they need to take upon with their therapist or somebody else that is not me.
Mhm.
So yeah. Um, the next thing that was on the list is love and tough love. So one thing I've written down is love is turned into tough love at home. Open conversations are not allowed. Yet if they do occur, it's seen as something negative most times. So a prime example of that would be, let's say somebody was, let's say a teen was telling their parent about something that was taking place at school that really had them in their feelings. Like maybe they had a crush on somebody or something like that.
Mhm.
Or something was taking place in their life that was very dramatic and their parent wasn't very appreciative of it.
Mhm.
In this scenario, the parent would be like, no, you're not going to talk about that within my house. And no, you need to cut that off. So basically, they aren't open to all types of like opinions and a conversation. And the problem with that is a parent should be a child's safe place because they brought them into this world. Why shouldn't they make them feel comfortable? Because they've brought them into this world already.
Mhm. I agree.
And the problem with that is it's not even tough love at that level. If you're not allowing open conversations between you and your teen, and I'm not telling anybody how to parent, but this is just common sense because you'd like to be comfortable within your own home as well, wouldn't you?
Mhm.
But the situation with that is it's not even tough love. You need to just be there for your child regardless because first off, this world is a scary place for most kids. And at this rate, in day of age, it's just that a lot of things can take place that a child may have trust issues with telling anybody else besides their parents. And
Mhm.
if you aren't their safe place, then something else bad could happen, and you don't really want that to happen.
Mhm. Yeah. And especially with like COVID and stuff, times are getting even more tough for us teens specifically. So it's like they need that support.
Agreed. The next topic that was on the list was mothers see daughters as competition. They want their daughters to be better than them due to the mistakes the mother made in their life. And sometimes the mother makes it seem like it's the child's fault. How do we feel about that?
Um, I've seen it in many situations. Me personally, not in my situation, but I feel like, in my opinion, this isn't. Well, it's. I'm kind of like I have mixed feelings about this because of course the daughters or the teens in general should always be supported and like pushed to their limit in a way so they are better for themselves, but I don't feel like it should be a competition thing because everyone is their own self, everyone has their own goals, everyone wants to strive for their own things. So I don't feel like they should be competition for their mother because they're their own self. They're striving for their own things. They don't want to have to strive for what their mother wants. That's the way I see it.
I agree. In this scenario, in this case, sorry, a mother shouldn't be seeing a daughter as competition, just like you said, because the daughter has her own life. The mistakes the mother made in her life has nothing to do with the daughter. If
Mhm.
you aren't able to take upon the mistakes you've made in your life and you're trying to make your daughter a better version of you, then do you really deserve to have a daughter or a child at that?
Mhm. I agree.
And it's just the fact that that gives off like toxic behavior and really that's not that's not acceptable and that shouldn't be allowed anyways because If you're seeing someone that you gave birth to or you've created and brought into this world as competition, as if they're an enemy or something of that sort, then in that case, what are you doing with your life? That's not okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the next topic we had at hand, the next part that we had at hand was holding power over the daughter's life, similar to the way the mother grew up. So this would mean a parent would somehow like manage how a child lives their life. So let's say the child wanted to go out to their friend's house and have a birthday party or something of that sort. Well,
Mhm.
not have a birthday party, but attend somebody's birthday party. And the parent was like, no, are there going to be boys there? And that's a common question between parents and their child, especially if it's a daughter, because clearly.
Mhm.
And the parent would say no. And that's one example of holding power because in some cases, ideally, it's not something that should be a question, especially if the child is young. They really wouldn't be thinking about boys in that type of form. And if that is the case, then you need to talk to your child about it. And they also live their young life once and for all.
Mhm.
They don't live days and days and days in their young life. Once they hit that age of 18, that's it. You hit rock bottom. And most at the age of 16 basically hit adult life in most cases or some cases.
Mhm. Yeah. I definitely agree
So,
with what you said.
and it's just the fact that limiting what they're able to do and what they're not able to do, it's just like basically you're controlling their life. It's their life. And when they get older, they're going to regret not being able to do those things because of you. And they could hold high regrets above you.
Mhm. Yes. And going back to what you said about like it's their lives and they should be able to live it how they want to basically. I definitely agree with that because, everyone was brought into this world for their own purpose and they also have their own morals and everyone wants to accomplish what they want to accomplish. So I just feel like it's good. I mean, it's not good that they should be holding power over their daughters' lives because it's not okay because everyone like wants to do their own thing basically. And so having to be controlled over that wouldn't be like if it happened to me, I would not be okay with that at all. That's all I know.
Yeah, I agree. So the next thing that I had in mind was the because I said so statement. Now, I know there may be some parents listening to our podcast. Hi. So the problem with this statement is that there's not enough context to back up why you're saying no. Because I said so is not something that you're gonna hear in the real world.
Mhm.
And it's just the factor that the day within this generation, like we need enough explanation as to why people say no to us or things are getting declined and things of that sort.
Mhm.
And it's just like you're not providing enough information for us to really understand.
Yeah.
And it's more of like giving like I don't care type of like vibes from that type of statement for me personally, because I hear it a lot. And it's just like, even if you keep asking them why, and they keep repeating that over and over again, it's not going to get any better. And I think the better step to this type of situation would be like, you said because I said so. I don't understand what that means. Are you able to break it down?
Mhm. Yeah, I really like how you worded that. I don't think I have anything else to add, but I will add one thing like we're not saying when they say because I said so for those small things like doing dishes and stuff or like sweeping, but like in those bigger situations where they're trying to make you do something that you really don't want to do, that's like a serious or like a more serious thing, then that's like base what we're talking about. Not
Agreed. And dishes and stuff like that, those are basic chores that they ask us to do. So we can understand that.
Mhm.
But when we're just trying to live our life and at least be within the means of our age range, then at that case and scenario, it's just like we want to do things that we might not be able to do when we get older. So we want to take that opportunity now. And if we can't do that, then down the line we'll regret missing out on that opportunity.
Yep, for sure.
So then the next thing that I had in mind talking about was a truth. Well, actually, before we talk about truth, um, I'm going to lean more into like the daughter's point of view. So a daughter's self-esteem can really end up lowering due to such households like toxic households or where she's not being loved enough. Now, a mother's love is really necessary, and parents in general from both sides. And it really hurts when you're missing a parent out of the child's life because, you know, a child needs both. And it's not like one can suffix for the missing of the other one, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I don't experience this personally, but I do know some people that have experienced this. And I really just wanted to say that I'm sorry about that because no child or any type of person should have to live their life without their parents or without a dad or a mother.
I agree.
Because that hits hard. And when they don't have both parents within the household, in most cases, it just makes life harder because, you know, that one parent could be out working all the time and they don't have time to talk to the child. And something that is really under the carpet within Black community or just in general, it's not really under the carpet either nowadays, but deadbeat dads. That's something that really hits the surface of the water because, like, in general, when the dad just doesn't want to be there within the child's life, what did you create the child for if you're not going to be there? It's just not making sense because when you have children or you create a child or allow them into the world, you're giving consent to be in their life somehow, or you're being able to provide materials for them to be in their life. And if all you're able to provide is child support and not be there physically, mentally, and everything else, then what are you there for? And I'm not saying you have to be with the other parent, but you have to be there within the child's life because from what I know, when you don't have both parents within your life, it just kind of sucks on both hands. I don't experience that personally, thank God, but it's just the factor that it doesn't make sense within their life.
Yeah, I agree.
And a kid's self-esteem can really like lower when they don't have both parents.
Yep, for sure. I mean, everyone needs two parents. Like, there's some things that mothers have. I mean, there's some things that mothers have that fathers can't give, and then vice versa. So.
And that protection that Black dads have, or dads in general. Oh God. So yeah, the last part that I had wanted to go over. Okay. So the last part I had wanted to go over was, well, actually, there's two more parts. But one truth that I wanted to get out was Black daughters specifically need love, and Black sons as well. Nobody in this world is going to love her more naturally than her parents because, you know, we all know how it is within relationships and things like that with boys and such. And it's just like a difficult topic because it's a different scenario. And a lot of the times, something that people don't really understand is that I actually got this photo from Instagram, but somebody posted this in 2019, and it said that 60% of Black girls experience sexual assault by the time they reach 18. And this relates back to that change your clothes because your uncle or my man friend is coming over situation or statement. And that's one situation that's faced within that scenario. And it's just the factor that that should not be a thing. And how black girls are sexualized like that from such a young age is really ridiculous.
Yep, for sure. And that's like a big percentage. Like, it's more than half percent. Like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. It should not be acceptable.
Really shouldn't.
So I think one last thing that I wanted to cover was I found this article um, called, well, it's on this website called Medium, I believe. Yes, medium.com. And basically, the website is talking about having strength for Black mothers who are raising free Black girls. So, the one thing that I took note of from this document was that Black mothers are often the earliest and arguably one of the most important role models of emotional well being for their daughters. Yet, research suggests that many Black girls have never seen their mothers cry. One potential manifestation of the strong Black woman's schema, a cultural trope of Black womanhood that praises Black women's unrelenting grace under pressure and ability to withstand significant adversity. Studies are beginning to highlight how internalization of the strong Black woman stereotype has negative implications for Black women's mental health and emotional health, which extends to Black girls' belief about how to express their strength and resilience. Now, this is just to show how, like, Black mothers, they're very strong and they still hold up that ideal or schema, as it said within the article that I was reading about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the factor that, you know, their presence within a life of a child is very important because they're always staying strong no matter what. And they're always fighting for what's right.
Yep.
So, was there anything else we had to add?
I think that was pretty much it. I think we had a really good conversation regarding this topic.
I agree. So, within this topic, I think the main outcome we can really foreseeably see is that Black parents versus their teen kids, it's really a big topic because there's a lot of things that go on within the world that are up for grabs and can really impact someone's life. But
Mm-hmm.
in most times, we as teen kids, we see our parents as a blocker for us living our life. And, you know, there's limits to what you can do and what you really shouldn't be doing at such an age. But when you're just trying to live your life and fit within the age range of things that you could be doing within your life, when your parents are holding you up at a halt or saying things like, because I said so, and things like that, it just really impacts you highly.
Yeah, for sure. It really does.
And just making sure that parents both have a presence within a child's life is highly important because it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for today's topic of Black parents versus teen kids. And if there was anything else that you would like to add to this topic or you had any comments about, feel free to let us know through Instagram or within the YouTube comment section. And for now, we will see y'all later.
See y'all later. Bye.